Hi guys, today I'm going to be talking about social media filters and how they kind of warp our self-perception as well as our confidence levels. Before we get into the video, be sure to subscribe to my page so that you can keep up on when my next video comes out.
How you living?
We take a look at Snapchat. As a Gen Z millennial cusp, Snapchat was the first interaction that I had with filters. And of course it was the infamous dog filter and flower crown filter. And the flower crown and dog filter were kind of like silly, quirky filters, right? And like Snapchat would roll out with a new filter and it would be something fun and exciting. And then we look at the filters that we have nowadays, the filters that smooth our skin and make our noses smaller, make our lips bigger. You know, pretty much everything that gets us to that Instagram face, as it's called. The face of so many influencers, the face of so many celebrities. And it's so hard to have that conversation without having the conversation about our confidence levels nowadays. Speaking from my own experience, it got to a point where I literally could not open up Snapchat or Instagram to upload on my story without swiping over to my favorite filter. If you're someone who uses filters a lot, you know that when you use a filter, very often the apps start to place that filter right next to the little camera button. So tap on your face, slide over once, boom, your face is completely different because of a filter that you love. And I noticed going through my memories, I was like, oh my God, all of these pictures are filtered. And I was like, clearly I have a problem. You know, clearly I like that they smooth my nose and they make my skin so perfect. They get rid of my little bags, right? But then when I take a look at my confidence level, completely shot. I think it's important to have the conversation about how most confidence levels nowadays are completely shot due to social media. An article that I was reading stated that Instagram was actually, out of like the four most popular social media sites, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, Instagram was the #1 site that was detrimental towards mental health. And that's not hard to believe. You know what I mean? You go on Instagram and you're constantly seeing people who are perfect, people who look like they have their lives together, you know, no matter what. Like the world could be in shambles. Friggin' Goliath, I think that's his name, could be outside and people on Instagram have their lives together. And it's like, do we all live in the same world? And not only is it important to note that social media is literally a highlight reel of our lives. No one goes on social media talking about how crappy their life is. You know what I mean? But it's also important to note that everything on social media is like fake. And I say that to say, when you see people posting on their stories and their skin is perfect, I don't care if you have the best dermatologist in the world. I don't care if you have a world-renowned chef who only cooks you organic eggs and spinach every morning. It is impossible for you to not have a flare-up, for you to not have something going wrong with you, right? And we look at social media influencers. And this is not to say that this is their fault. I don't think this is their fault. We are in control of ourselves, right? But you look at social media influencers and nothing's ever out of place. And when you think about influencers, what is their job? To influence. And for some reason, when the conversation of influencers come up and influenced people, it's always geared towards teenagers. You know, people are always like, oh, but the teens, the kids. And I think it's important that we remember that everyone can be influenced. Everyone. I'm 24. My friends and I are influenced every day. You know what I mean? And while it's not influencers' jobs to make sure that our mental health is okay, to make sure that we are confident in ourselves, I think it is very important for them to acknowledge. There have been plenty of times where social media influencers have been accused of like using a filter, downloading the video, and then uploading the video, making it look like, you know, so it doesn't trigger that little filter button on the top of your story. And it's just kind of manipulative in the sense that you're being portrayed as perfect. And you know, that's not fair to influencers either, of course, because no one's perfect. But I do think that when it comes to filters have become so like unable to detect. Like there are filters that like I could have one on right now and you would have no clue. There are skincare companies that people use filters on their skin as they're recording about how good this product is. You know what I mean? The point of a filter, of course, is to filter out what we don't want. The definition of a filter is to get rid of unwanted things, right? So you look at how filters smooth your skin. No one wants bad skin. Bad skin is like, especially now in the age of skincare, unfortunately, if you have bad skin, you know, you're kind of looked down upon. And of course, that's not okay, but it's the truth. If you have a wider nose, you know, you look at anti-Blackness and featureism and how women who tend to have wide, flat noses are perceived as ugly or mannish, you know. So of course, why wouldn't someone open up a filter that makes their nose small? Why wouldn't someone with thin lips open up a filter that's gonna plump up their lips a little bit, you know? And so I don't think that we should knock people for falling into what society has like deemed that we need to be. I don't think that we should kind of just like I know people are constantly talking down on people who use filters, and I think we need to give those people a little grace. And this is not just speaking, like, I don't care if anyone gives me grace, but you know, we need to kind of recognize that for a lot of people, filters are what they need to feel confident in themselves. And that's the issue, you know, when people bring plastic surgeons photos of themselves filtered or photos of celebrities that are highly edited saying, I want to look like this. That's the issue here. You know what I mean? And should Instagram get rid of filters? No, that's not Instagram's job. Instagram was created to share photos and have fun. And of course, when you add the element of filters, it can get a little sticky. But it is solely our job to make sure that we feel good about ourselves. It is no one else's job on this planet to make sure that we feel good about ourselves. When I see articles petitioning for Snapchat and Instagram to get rid of certain filters, I don't really think that that makes sense, because if that were the case, we would all walk around the world in plastic bubbles. There are little things everywhere that like can either make or break your self-confidence, you know, can test it and see how you feel about yourself. And I think if we spend our lives catering to little things that inconvenience us, then at the end of the day, we're just harming ourselves. I think we really need to like toughen up our skin, things along those lines. So then the question becomes, how do you do that? How do you make it so that you don't open up your Snapchat and automatically scroll over to your favorite filter? You know what I mean? And for me personally, in order to do that, I really had to have a conversation with myself. I was off social media for about 2 weeks, which when you think about it, social media was created for us to have fun. You know, social media was created for us to connect with people, to learn new things. And that shouldn't be something that you're taking a break from. So if you feel that social media is draining you, then you need a break. I'm gonna say that right now, because more often than not, we recognize when things are like kind of triggering us, when things are kind of harming our self-esteem, but we keep going. You know, we're kind of like, oh no, I'm not bothered by it. You are, and that's okay. But that's not the point of this video. So the first thing that I did was get off social media for a bit. And that was just to kind of clear my mind and just focus on me, focus on my insecurities, targeting the things that I unfortunately felt bad about in my, you know, myself. And then once I was back, immediately unfollowing spree. And I know this isn't new. I'm not the first person to tell you this, and that's fine. You need to unfollow the people who aren't serving you on social media. I don't care if it's your best friend. I don't care if it's your mom's best friend. If you go on social media and you find yourself not enjoying someone's post, why are you following them? That's the question. You got to think about it like, why are you giving your energy to things that you do not want to? If someone is posting, even if you're jealous, I don't care. You know, I think that people act as if jealousy is something that like only haters experience. Everyone's jealous at some point in their life. And you can say that you're not, but you're lying. And I think that if there's anything that just makes you feel kind of icky, if you get the ick looking at someone's post, if you get the ick looking at someone's profile, unfollow them. Because at the end of the day, it's detrimental to your mental health. And that is your sole concern. In order to get your confidence back, in order to make sure that you don't look at yourself and automatically see the little things that you need to change, you need to be upfront with yourself about the things that bother you. So just kind of go on an unfollowing spree, unfortunately. And, some people might feel a way about it, and that's fine. And then last but not least, just to kind of resist, you have to resist using the filters. And I know that's hard. We all want to look at our best 24/7 at every moment, and it's hard to not want to easily swipe over into the augmented reality of ourselves. You know what I mean? But you have to resist it. And I promise you it'll get better. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was really just me rambling about filters, but that's not the point. The point is that I think we should all love ourselves. I think that we should all be so immersed with self-love for ourselves, and not in a cocky way, not in but just in a way that we look at ourselves and we feel joy. We look at ourselves and there's no hesitation as to if we're beautiful or not. I don't think that there is one ideal image of beauty. I definitely think that in the way that our society is, and this isn't just a United States thing, the whole world is anti-Black, the whole world deals with colorism, featureism, everything. I just wish that I had someone tell me, stop using the filters. Stop, girl, And I think that it's a conversation that needs to be had. I think that it's a conversation that needs to be had between friends. I know people in their 50s who are obsessed with filters. I know people, it's not just a teenage thing that gets written off and you'll grow out of it once you have your glow up, because you won't. Believe in the beauty that we have and just live in it. Live in the beauty of your life. No matter if it's the things you do, no matter if it's the clothes you wear, what you look like. And that's all that I really have to say on the subject. So you guys have a great night, day, whenever you're watching this, you have a great one. Bye.